So the story is with Gary. I had problems with my brain from a disease, and so I was relatively new to the essential oils. And Gary and I were really best friends and all that, and we were together in Skyrider in Utah in his ranch. And then I said, I was having my laptop there, and I was looking all the research about oils. I was reading what we have in the medical literature. So what you could find, when you know where to find it as a physician. So I was looking up what oils are good for the brain, because I wanted to improve my brain. And so I came up and I looked at all the reports, case reports, studies, everything I could find. And then I put together about 6-7 oils. And I called Gary and said...
You were so proud.
Oh, I was very proud. I saw... Because Gary was doing these blends of oils that really nobody else could do. I mean, I didn't know how, who knows, and he used different techniques to do that. And so I called Gary and said, Gary, I created a perfect blend for Young Living, and I will show it to you, and I will give it to you so you can create this for Young Living. And he said, what is it? I said, it's a blend for the brain. And I did it by researching everything. And then he looked at it and said, oh, this is really good. I see this oil, I see that oil, I did that. This is really a good idea, Ollie. And he said, wait real quick. And he went back and he came back with an oil and said, it's a good idea. I did this 7 years ago. Here it is. What? And I said, but 7 years ago, we didn't have that research. He said, it doesn't matter. I already did it. And it's called Brain Power.
Brain Power.
Brain Power. So Brain Power is a mix that he did without knowing the research. And it was basically the same mixture I did together, based on very new research that he didn't know 7 years earlier. And so I have seen stories like this over and over again, where I find things today that he did not have to research, but he already said, this is the way it is. Yeah. And I was almost fighting with him and saying, you cannot say that. And he said, I feel it's right, so I will say it. And now, 10 years, 20 years later, I suddenly see that he was right, because I find the new research.
Wow.
I'm not